Hi, Jose Gomez from CloudFolios. Today we're going to go over how to manage not only your artwork and it's the ways that you can publish it online, but we're going to talk a little bit about the art inventory feature of any artist or art collector account. So if I go to art inventory right now, you'll see that I don't actually have anything in here because I don't have any produced works yet. Now, it's important to understand what this means. In our system, we do make a distinction between work and produced works. And a great example of why this is important is because you might have a photographer, for example, who does a digital photographer who has a digital version of their work versus the actual printing of the work. Now, for hand artists like painters and folks who draw, you're going to have less of a distinction. You're going to take a picture of your work and immediately want to create a produced work in the system so it's available for sale, or it's we have record of it in your inventory. What we're going to do right now is take you through the process of creating a produced work, and it's super simple. If you remember, we have from our previous demos, we created a demo folio, which is just a container. It's a container of works. If I click on it, you'll see that there's multiple artwork in here. And you can use this to track collections, series, or just use it as just an arbitrary container of whatever images you want to have in there. We're going to go into the demo title here, which is one of the works in that folio. And we filled out some of this information in a previous demo. We won't go over that. What I'm interested in is going down to the produce works area. I'm going to click on add a produced work. What this means is I've actually created something physically. Now, we've created a few editions here. If you look at the top, we did this in a previous tutorial. We have an open edition, a limited edition. I'm going to actually record number one of my created work. It's going to be recorded today, 5/8. The sale price is going to be $500. CloudFolios does create a serial number. You can overwrite this if you have your own scheme. If not, you can just leave it as is. This is going to be a signed work, and my last location for this is my studio. So, and I have no notes, no additional notes. I'm simply going to click on Save Work. Now the system knows there is a physical rendition, a physical version of this image, and I know that it needs to be tracked in some way. If I go over to the art inventory now, I now see this in my inventory. And what this means is that I actually have something in my possession. I have one piece of art in my possession that can now be transferred and manipulated in some way. I'm going to click on that, and you'll see some of the options that are available. So you'll see some of the information here, the value or current price of the work, last known location. We see here some information here that I can't edit because I made this permanent by creating it through the system, through the Folio system. I can add some notes and comments, and I can also generate a certificate of authenticity. This is actually a really, really great feature for those of us who just want to get these things done easily. You have a sale, you need to create a COA pretty quickly. You just click on Generate COA, and you'll see here what it does. It goes through its process in the background, takes all the information that you've put in here, and it generates a certificate of authenticity for you. So you can go ahead and print this, sign it, date it, and we're off to the races. Notice that it contains a serial number, which at this point is the CloudFolios created serial number, and all the relevant information on here. Okay, so that's really easy to do. That just generates a PDF. And it also shows you any other information about this work that we have available. So one of the things that happens when you create a produced work is that we record a ledger, a public ledger transaction. These are really important because it proves that at some point somebody did this, and it keeps track of what these transactions in terms of transferring the art to other people, destroying the art, all of it is recorded here so that later somebody can authenticate the art based on the serial number that you have. So there's actually a place on CloudFolios where you can go type in a serial number and it'll give you this history. It's really kind of neat. It's something that in history hasn't really been done with art, but we've done it here at CloudFolios. So you've got your public ledger transaction. We can see that it was created, when it was created, the title of the work, and then we have a code that just goes along with this particular title. And we see the originator, we see the new owner, and we see the value at this time of the work. We also have any kind of history or awards. This is one, but that's basically everything that we have for this particular inventory item. And then we have a little QR code here that actually takes you, if you scan it with your phone, takes you to the public page where this work is either available for sale or just information about it is exhibited. So really interesting, very thorough information about one work that you can have for tracking purposes. Now, if you want to do things like change or transfer ownership of this, you're able to do it through the Change Transfer Ownership button. You simply click on it, and now it takes you through a process. Did you sell this? Did you donate it? Was it gifted? Was this returned back to you? Is this a destroyed item or is it stolen? The stolen feature is really neat because now, as artwork gets transferred from person to person, if they have a COA signed by the artist that has a serial number, someone can literally type in the serial number and they'll see that the artwork's last status was stolen. So it's really important to have that. You can also do a recovery if you mark something as stolen as well. Or you can just simply cancel out and do what you need to do. And I won't take you through all of these, but I will just show you kind of how these screens work. So it's sold. We're going to put the email address of the new owner. It's going to try to find their account. It'll create a CloudFolios collector account. If they're not there, if it is there, it'll tie everything together, allow you to process a transaction through here, and it will remove the item from your inventory and place it in the new owner's inventory. So you could do that for donations. You could do that for gifts. It's a really neat feature here in your inventory. So wanted to kind of go through all of that. If you do this for multiple, you do this for as many of your CloudFolios artworks as you'd like to, and it'll just, as soon as you create a produced work, it adds it to the inventory. Each individual produced work gets added differently. And of course, once you have a bunch of them in there, you can do keyword searches and find artwork that you're trying to either sell, represent, or just get information or publish information about, or generate a COA for. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in some future tutorials.